All right, here's a short video on writing node voltage equations to solve a simple circuit, and then more importantly, once you have the node voltage value, how you can use that to find other unknown things about the circuit. So in this particular case, let me walk you through what we're going to do. We're going to write the node equation for V alpha, and once we do that, we can solve for V alpha. And then from there, once we have V alpha, anything else in the circuit should be pretty easy to find. We're going to illustrate that by finding the power associated with the 5 ohm resistor. Okay, so I've replicated the circuit here. And so let's write the node equations for V alpha. Okay, so we talked about in class that we draw these currents coming out of the node and that the sum of the currents at any node is 0. Okay, from there we need to find the current I1, and so we notice there's this branch, and it includes a 5 ohm resistor, a source, and a 3 ohm resistor. So we can come up with the equivalent resistance for that branch and write down that I1 is V alpha minus 40 divided by the equivalent resistance, which is 8. All right, so that's the hardest one. The next one is I2. So I2, you have V alpha here, ground here, so that's 0 volts. So this would be V alpha minus 0 divided by 2. And then finally, I3, we have the current source in that branch. It's pointed the wrong way, so I3 would be minus 3 amps. So there's the equation that we need to solve. And so now it's just a matter of doing algebra to get that equation. So let's do that real quickly. All right, so I like to factor out V alpha, and then I have 1/8 plus 1/2. And then you have a negative 40 over 8 plus a minus 3 equals 0. So I can move those to the other side. That'd be 40 divided by 8 plus 3. And now I need to find a common denominator, which on this side of the equation would be 8. So that would be 5/8 is equal to 40 plus 3 times 8 is 24 over 8. The 8's cancel. So V alpha is 64 divided by 5. Okay, and that's in volts. All right, so that's part B. So you see that's pretty simple to do. Next, we go back and we look at this circuit. If we know V alpha, which we now do, then the voltage across the 5 ohm resistor is simply V alpha minus 40. Okay, and so once we know the voltage across it, we can find the current through it. All right, so let me write that down. The power for the 5 ohm resistor is the voltage across the 5 ohm resistor times the current through the 5 ohm resistor. We know the voltage is V alpha minus 40. And the current would be V alpha minus 40 divided by 5. V alpha is known because we just solved it. We plugged that in. I plugged that in on my calculator, and I got 147.97 watts. And of course it's a resistor, so it's using power. All right. So that's the final answer for the 5 ohm resistor. And you see, once you know the node voltage, everything else in the circuit should be pretty easy to find.